Hello, folks. We are back.
Yeah.
We are live. And what is today? 8 August 2011?
Yes, sir.
How was your radio show Sunday?
It was fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We had Don Bennett on. You know Don.
Yeah, I know. I love Don Bennett.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good man, good guy. Yeah. Folks, we are live. Now, I got in here today, and Mike Hansen dropped a couple of little things on me here. First off, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. What do you think about them?
Complete waste of money.
Yeah, there you go. Probably even worse. Wouldn't you think they're probably doing some bad things?
Yeah.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has awarded Austin Travis County Health and Human Services $7,473,150 in federal stimulus funds over 2 years to decrease tobacco use and decrease exposure to secondhand smoke. So $7.5 million for this.
This is just Travis
We're
County.
Play it all the way through, but you can comment on it. Look how much money they spent on that.
This is a federal program. This is just the money that came to Austin. All right, they are spending this money all over. This grant money is going on to all over the country.
See, I thought they were supposed to be broke.
No. We're broke.
They seem to have $7 million for this, $7.5 million for this. So let's see. Basically, what it is though, it has nothing to do with the smoke. I think it has to do with control.
Absolutely. Well, I was going to say that these anti-smoking commercials have been running for many years, and they've actually done studies of them, and they found they don't work. That people after seeing these commercials are not any less likely to smoke than they were before these commercials, and so they've never worked, and they're not working now.
Back in the late 1990s, I was bitching about I forget the name of it, but it's something to do with if you're 18 or younger and you get caught with a cigarette, then you risk all kinds of fines and probation and all.
You lose your driver's license.
Yeah, you could lose your driver's license. That's right. Isn't this getting ridiculous?
It's absurd, and as you say, it's really about control, and they don't care about our health.
That's right. That's right. Okay, let's go with Nate here. Welcome, Nate. Is that you?
Yeah, hey guys.
Hey.
Yeah, I saw this commercial on TV, and it just blew my mind. I was like, wow, we're all going to die from secondhand smoke. That's basically the message, isn't it?
Well, that's what they're saying in this thing, but as Gary and I were saying, it's just another control mechanism.
Well, I started researching it, and I found that they had gotten this stimulus money. This is actually from the $700 billion stimulus package that Obama put through. And it was also for obesity. They gave out $15.6 million to San Antonio.
Yeah, I interviewed somebody from a think tank, the National Center for Policy Analysis, talking about this program. This is, now let me read the name of it. It's called Communities Putting Prevention to Work. And it's a federal program, so Austin, San Antonio, the millions of dollars that we're talking about here, this is just a drop in the bucket. Communities all over the world, I mean, not all over the country, Chicago, etc., are receiving millions of dollars of grant money for obesity and smoking, and they're not just commercials being run against smoking, they're commercials against junk food and all sorts of things. So this is money, this program is being spent on these kinds of propaganda messages all over the country, and this program is not just for this year. It's going to be continuing for many more years, and the spending actually increases. it actually, the appropriations go up and up year by year. So there'll be even more of this in the future.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought this was an Orwellian name, the communities, working for prevention or whatever.
Yeah.
It should be called bureaucrats creating propaganda to scare the crap out of people.
There you
Exactly.
go. It's officially, the grant is formally called Communities Putting Prevention to Work.
Yeah, well, it's from the organizer in chief.
Yeah, it's from the stimulus.
Yeah, the irony of the stimulus funding is, it's a good thing we had the Great Recession going on, because we wouldn't have a stimulus program to spend on these commercials in the first place. So it all kind of works out.
Well, it's a shovel-ready project, ain't it?
It's shovel ready.
That's right.
So that's your tax dollars at work running this commercial, telling you what you should do with your own life. I also want to say something here about this idea of secondhand smoke. There's a lot of controversy about whether secondhand smoke is even dangerous, but the statistics on secondhand smoke are generally just made up. They say in this press release that this bureaucrat, Dr. Philip Huang of the Austin Travis County Health and Human Services Department, says that tobacco remains the leading cause of preventable death in the nation and in Austin Travis County, and it kills more than AIDS, crack, heroin, alcohol, and car accidents, fire, and murder combined, unquote. Well, actually, we don't know that. We don't know how many people, if any, die from secondhand smoke. There's no coroner's report where secondhand smoke was listed as the cause of death. So he's just making this up, and that's what part of the problem is. A lot of the scare tactics are based on made up phony statistics.
Well, he worked for the CDC for 2 years too.
So
I've got his resume. And he's basically a bureaucrat. He's not a real scientist.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
But the other thing is I've looked into the science on this, and it's about as solid as global warming science.
Right.
And one of the things is the studies they did, they say there's about a 2 to 5% error factor in people that said they were smokers or said they were non-smokers but were actually smokers.
I think the state, aren't they? They were pushing to ban cigarette smoking in all restaurants, I think.
This is what this is for. It's to convince people that legislation banning cigarettes completely would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Because I don't think at this point they think they can get away with that kind of legislation. So this is pure propaganda, mind control, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there is science out there that says that what they thought was being caused was what was causing diseases with secondhand smoke is actually diesel fumes and diesel smoke.
Yeah.
People, what they found is that people that live in cities that get a lot of truck traffic through are more susceptible to these diseases. But they attributed that to secondhand smoke. So they really think that it was diesel smoke. And the other video we got is Fluoride-Free Austin demanding that fluoride warnings be put on water bills.
That's a good one, yeah.
Okay, I guess, is Philip Huang show up in this one too?
Philip Huang.
Yeah, he's all up in all this stuff, isn't he? Fluoride-Free Austin gave him all the literature they have from Dr. Paul Connet about fluoride, the case against fluoride, and Wang said he cannot read it. He said he's not allowed to. So he's not interested in truth or anything. He's interested in the bureaucracy.
We'd like to play this commercial with the sound and then have you comment on it.
Okay.
Okay, Nate, can you stay on the line? We've also got another call. Just stay on the line. We're going to go ahead and play this commercial, Nate, and Mike wants you to comment on it.
All right.
Okay, hold it. I'll put you on hold a minute.
right, so
here we go.
we now pause for this commercial minute.
Secondhand smoke contains 7,000 chemicals, including cyanide, lead, and arsenic. 7,000 chemicals. That's harmful, whether it's inside or out. To find out more, go to livetobacco-freeaustin.org.
Purely just propaganda. Okay, Nate, what'd you think?
Well, I think it's a problem with all that CO2 that came out of that truck that they're increasing global warming.
There you go.
I think that's dry
Look at all
ice
the
that
stuff
was
they
coming out of
do
there.
to make that commercial. What are they putting in the air?
Yeah, they're really clamping down, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, like I say, I think they want to pass legislation that
Yes.
bans smoking outdoors or ban tobacco altogether, but they don't think it'll pass right now, so they're doing a propaganda campaign.
Yep.
So we're paying for our own brainwashing.
That's right. Paying for our own brainwashing. That's right.
Well, at least San Antonio got the fat money.
Yep.
All right, y'all, take it easy. Good
Take
show.
care, Nate. Thanks for calling in. Welcome. You're on Worldwide.
Jeff.
Yes, sir.
This is tied into a whole lot more than just what you're talking about. This goes all the way back to the fairness doctrine, where they don't want you to have shows like this. They want you to have both sides. And so Obama's changed the name of the fairness doctrine to localized. So San Antonio is dealing with fat folk, and Austin's dealing with smoking folk. And then you got, these different communities like San Francisco and Austin with gay pride parade. But basically, what this really, and you can go back and find this if you check out all the things, the paperwork before they started calling it the fairness doctrine. But basically, that's what this is. This propaganda is about, and it's to balkanize, and you can actually find it. It's real easy to find if you'll just backtrack the fairness doctrine and all the legislation. I know that Cornyn and Kay Bailey actually fought that, but that's what this is actually is tied. It is mind control, but it is also tied into, just like your show, just like commercials. It's to have this mindset of having each community, how Austin's an environmental community with plastic bags and all that. And so it's just where they can track this all over the entire nation, and they can, do these propaganda pieces and then tie it in with the fairness doctrine. So if somebody starts saying, oh, well, like Gary Johnson, what does he know about secondhand smoke? And so next thing you know, you're going to have to comply with the localized doctrine versus the fairness doctrine. Isn't that pretty creative?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and you're right. The whole idea. Notice this is not a federal program. And why doesn't the federal government make a propaganda commercial and run it all over the country? Instead, they give the money to Travis County to make a local commercial, and that's so it'll be under the radar, so people
Right.
won't notice it.
And it's just like with the Central Health Care District, they've had all these tobacco settlement tax dollars that do come from the federal government. And then what does Travis County do with it? They spend it on, their Travis County employees to ban smoking and to do studies and to, it's the same thing. We're just going to save millions of dollars of medical dollars if we can just get everybody to stop smoking. But they actually talked about this a little bit down at Travis County when they were talking about that. But I was going to tell you, everybody come out Thursday to the Central Health and make sure that our Central Health Care Tax District doesn't become the largest taxing district in the county. It's outrageous the money that our health care district is spending, and they're getting ready to go through their budget. And they've talked about this even in the Central Health Care meetings they've had down there about this whole thing, this propaganda and everything.
What do they? Did they run a hospital? What do they do?
They have it's the hospital district, Central Health.
Yeah, but what do they do?
They just bought Jeff, the VA center down there on Montopolis.
Yeah.
They bought that a while back. The Central Healthcare District. So it'll be MAP, the MAP program. They bought that, I don't know, a while back.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's been quite some time ago. Yeah.
So what do you mean it'll be MAP?
Well, I mean it'll be for the illegals or whoever needs those services, medical services. It'll be a Travis County Central Health Care facility.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's another one of those shovel-ready projects like Nate was talking about. It's ready to move in and use. But hey, y'all doing a great job. Talk to you later.
Okay, thank you. I've actually been seeing these live tobacco-free Austin up in Pflugerville. The cable, but I did not realize that it was federal.
Tobacco-free Austin is not Austin. It's the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It's the federal government.
Dr. Hugh.
No, Dr. Wang.
Dr. Wang.
Yeah. But it's your federal tax dollars. It's money. It's the stimulus plan, and that's what it is.
And that's what's buying these ads.
Yeah.
And that's something. See, I didn't even know that. So that answers it right there then. So
and this program is more than just tobacco. It's obesity, and it's children, and it's banning soft drinks, and this program is big, and it's going to get bigger.
Is that right?
Yes. So
let's see. They tell us we're not allowed to smoke pot. There's a movement on to control what we eat.
Yes.
Would you say that?
Yes. Especially the children.
Yeah, the children. Yeah. And the smoking. See, if they prohibit smoking, then that's just another war on drugs scenario.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll just be a black market rise up, and then
yeah. You think the drug war in Mexico is big now? Wait till they ban tobacco.
So there's just no end to this. Yes. I've been seeing these commercials, and I didn't even know about all this. Mike Hansen brought this to my attention. Uh-huh. You knew about it?
Well, I didn't know about Travis County. I knew about this Communities Putting Prevention to Work program nationally, and I didn't know what Austin's involvement was with it. I had heard about other cities that had received this kind of money and done crazy things with it.
Yeah. Okay, next we're good. Okay, go ahead, Gary.
Well, this is about fluoride-free Austin going down to City Council and trying to get the City Council to stop adding fluoride to the water. And there are two approaches. One is there may be a vote on this publicly, but what they really want is they want the City Council to just stop putting the fluoride in the water, and they want a majority of the City Council to vote to stop doing this. And so this is a resolution on this, and I think we're going to watch a video that's going to be the resolution being presented to the City Council.
Okay, we're ready. Go ahead and run it.
Next, we'll have Philip Green.
Go get a quick smoke.
Thank you, council members. I've submitted for the record a copy of the resolution calling for the City of Austin Council and our public water utility to warn the public to the dangers of hexafluorosilicic acid and to stop the artificial fluoridation of Austin's drinking water with the chemical H2SiF6. This resolution has already been signed by dozens of businesses, and soon we will have hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses here in Austin joining our support. Whereas the Health and Human Services and the Center for Disease Control recently announced that 41% of teens between the ages of 12 to 15 years have dental fluorosis caused from an overexposure to fluoride. Whereas the National Academy of Science and NRC report of 2006 found that low levels of fluoride increase the rate of bone fractures, severity of diabetes, causes brittle bones, contributes to thyroid dysfunction, and has been linked to various cancers. Whereas the Austin Public Water Utility and the CDC have warned parents to the dangers of using fluoridated water in baby formula, as it may result in fluorosis. In addition, over 25 studies have linked fluoride to lower IQs in children. Whereas water fluoridation is being used as a medication, yet does not allow for dosage control. Infants, young children, pets, and adults receive the same amount of fluoride in a glass of water with no consideration to differences in age, weight, or sensitivity. Whereas the chemical H2SiF6 is a byproduct of phosphate ore strip mining purchased from Mosaic Company. It is a highly reactive and corrosive chemical that is not a medical or pharmaceutical purity and is known to cause dental fluorosis and skeletal bone disease. Whereas the CDC says the predominant effect of fluoride is topical, from fluoride treatments or using fluoridated toothpaste, not from drinking fluoridated water. Artificial water fluoridation is not only costly and ineffective, but dangerous to many. It is hereby resolved that Austin City Council immediately include a warning on water utility bills to the risk posed from giving fluoridated water to infants or those adversely affected by fluoride. 2, carry out an independent chemical analysis of the hexafluorosilicic acid being used and to verify that it is free of radioactive isotopes, heavy metals, and ensure it is safe for all. And third, to vote to end the practice of artificial water fluoridation, and until that time, issue an immediate moratorium to protect those being harmed. This is no longer an issue that is sidelined. We have support from the mainstream. The greater part of our public and our community wants this to be out. It's not an issue that we need to pass off to the voters. Many in the public are not aware of the dangers of fluoride. 4 of you can have this done with today. 4 of you can end water fluoridation with this hazardous chemical, H2SiF6. It is not naturally occurring. It is not good for our children. It is not good for anyone.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Next, we have Ray Olenek.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council members. Last May, Mosaic, the supplier of the fluorosilicic acid that Austin uses for water fluoridation, updated their material safety data sheet to include a dire health warning. And here it is in their words, quote, prolonged or repeated overexposure to fluoride compounds may cause fluorosis. Fluorosis is characterized by skeletal changes consisting of osteosclerosis, hardening or abnormal density of bone, and osteomalacia, which is the softening of bones, and by mottled discoloration of the enamel of teeth if exposure occurs during enamel formation. Symptoms may include bone and joint pain and a limited range of motion. Now, that's what we've been saying for years, and here it is straight from the supplier. For the last several weeks, we've been making an effort to get this information to both council members and their aides through hard copy and emails, and so far we've had no feedback. Last summer, the Austin Water Utility issued a weak warning strictly limited to dental fluorosis in infants, and they placed it on their website where no one will see it. Today we are demanding that the water utility place on their bill, where people will see it, the following meaningful warning. And this is the language we've chosen. It all comes from the CDC, the MSDS sheet, and the City of Austin's own website. Quote, in January of 2011, the CDC lowered the maximum level of fluoride recommended for tap water from 1.2 parts per million to 0.7 parts per million. Austin currently fluoridates at 0.7 parts per million. Prolonged or repeated overexposure to fluoride compounds may cause fluorosis. Fluorosis is characterized by skeletal changes consisting of osteosclerosis and osteomalacia, and by mottled discoloration of the enamel of teeth if exposure occurs during enamel formation of children and infants. If you are concerned about fluorosis in infants and in children, you can minimize exposure to fluoride by using non-fluoridated water for children and for reconstitution of infant formula. End of quote. That would be a meaningful warning. And we are further demanding a direct response to us within the next 30 days. Thank you.
Okay, there you have it, folks. We'll try this call real quick.
All right.
By the way, I want to mention that this thing about getting fluoride out of the water, it's not some little light issue right now. In fact, Elgin has already banned fluoride from their water supply.
Right.
And then I think
Lago Vista did too.
Yeah, one of them.
Don't take it yet. We're getting his information. We put it on the screen.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
Okay, Sean. Okay. And so, yeah, that...
Let me just say.
Go ahead.
This, Sean's going to tell you, but this is, Gary, you don't know anything about it yet, but Sean is going to be putting up billboards all over the country to warn parents that they do not have to get their kids vaccinated, that it's their choice to do it and they can opt out of it. And he's going to tell you all about it.
Okay.
They're gearing up for this, and he's going to have more information next week, but we want to promote it here first.
Okay. Cool.
Just a minute. He'll be on.
Okay. So we start off with, I wanted to mention the smoke. I forget what it was called about the smoking for the kids. But, like, if you're 18 or under and you're caught smoking a cigarette, you know, you're fined, and they can take your license away.
Driver's license.
Yeah, you knew that?
Well, that's it's illegal for them to possess cigarettes. Certainly illegal for them to buy them. So yeah,
It's illegal for them to possess them?
I think it's illegal for them to buy cigarettes.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's just it's incrementalism.
Yeah. And by the way, tomorrow night is the big meeting. Are you going to the big meeting?
Yeah.
Are you? I might try to make it. Find out what's going on. If I don't make it, you can give a report next week, right?
All right.
Is that fair?
Yes. So I want to say something quickly about the fluoridation.
Go ahead.
What's ironic is that they were talking about putting a warning on your water bill about the dangers of fluoridation. They got all these warnings about cigarettes and huge warnings. And the science on that is, as Nate Thomas pointed out earlier, is kind of iffy. But they don't want to put a warning about fluoridation. They don't want to tell us that that's dangerous, even though there's a lot more scientific evidence about that. I mean, it's kind of ironic that we have to have fluoride in our water, and that's dangerous, but we can't do other things.
Okay.
I gotta talk about what's going on in these financial markets.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe this is a systematic destruction of America? Do you believe that it's a grand scheme to destroy America, or do you just think this is all just happening by coincidence?
No, I don't think it's a coincidence, but I think that what is happening now has been in the makings for many years. I don't think that recent decisions are what's causing what's happening.
Really? Welcome. You're on. Hello, Sean.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. This is Jeff Davis.
Hi. How you doing?
Thanks for calling in.
Sure.
This is a live tele-webcast based out of Austin, Texas. Where are you calling from?
I am also based out of Austin, Texas. I'm in Austin.
You're in Austin. Okay. Okay. So tell us, Sean, about what your program's all about.
Okay. I'm just a part of the program. It started off a Facebook page last week, over the last couple of weeks, and it has blossomed into what we hope will eventually be a nationwide billboard campaign. And the billboards will specifically say, no shot, no school, not true, because it isn't true. It's a misrepresentation of the law when they state it like that. And so the billboards will go up. They'll have references to blog spots such as mine I created today. There's also a website being created, and it will give people the actual information about vaccine exemptions that are available in Texas and in all but 2 of the states. West Virginia and Mississippi only have medical exemptions, and that's really unfortunate because they're difficult to get. But Texas, in Texas, it's relatively easy to get and obtain a conscientious objection, if you will, to vaccines.
Now, were you were aware that Governor Rick Perry, about 3 or 4 years ago, he tried to mandate children take that
Gardasil.
the what?
Gardasil.
It was for something. It was for So, what were you involved in that, Sean?
No, I was not. But the Texas population responded. I think they got a little bit peeved that when the governor took office, he evidently thought he became a doctor as well.
Okay, go ahead, Gary.
Sean, if someone wants to get an exemption, what is the process?
The process is actually fully described on my blog spot, which the sign for the blog spot is now on the screen. It's VaxTruth, that's VAX truth.blogspot.com. And what you do is you get on the website for the Texas Department of State Health Services, and you download a letter that requests the forms for the affidavit for the exemption. You receive the forms in the mail after you send in those requests, and you have your form notarized. You fill it out, check off the vaccines you do not want to get, or usually it's all of them. Have it notarized and provide it to the school or the daycare facility.
So you're saying that it's legal right now for all Texas students to get out of these vaccinations?
That's absolutely right. It's perfectly legal.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that.
You did know that. Okay. So
but they don't want you to know that. They want you to assume that you have to take the vaccination.
That's the billboards they're going to put up all over the country.
Is that the billboard you're putting up, Sean?
Yeah.
No, that's the billboard that's up now in Evansville, Indiana, and a couple of other cities near Evansville.
And what do you say? Do you have any comments on what you say the dangers of these vaccines are?
All of them. If you're asking which vaccines they should not get, is that what you're asking me?
No, what are the dangers?
Yeah, what are some of the dangers?
Oh, well, it goes everything from a minor pain in your arm for a day or two to death. Kids sometimes literally die within hours or days of getting a vaccine. And they also trigger autoimmune reactions such as lupus, juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes. There are many dangers to the vaccines that they just don't let you know about for obvious reasons. If the general public were aware of the nature of some of the damages that are potential from vaccination, many more people would be opting out of them.
But you won't get chickenpox.
Yeah, you won't get chickenpox, you just die.
Maybe this is part of their population control program, Sean.
Well, that's some deep politics right there.
Well, I got to ask you, where are you getting the money to put up all these signs over America?
Right now, the money is coming from $5, $10, and $20 donations from parents and grandparents of damaged kids, and grandparents such as myself, whose kids ostensibly are not damaged, but we're aware of the dangers, and we don't want to see our kids damaged. I might throw this out to you now, Jeff. The fact is that autism to most people who are familiar with the history of vaccines, is definitely linked to the vaccine.
Wow.
Yeah, and the projection, I did a projection that was kind of shocking when I saw it. I took the last 20 years of incidence of autism in the United States and projected out to the future. By the year 2032 or 2035, thereabouts, at the current rate, every young girl in the United States, I'm sorry, every boy, because there are more boys than girls, every boy will be diagnosed autistic. Within 10 or 12 years after that, every girl will join them. That means within a generation and a half, at the current rate, every one of our young kids will be on the autism spectrum.
Sean, you mentioned you're a grandparent. How did you first become aware of this? Why are you doing this?
I first became aware of it during the pandemic scare in 2009. I was actually on Alex's site, and someone recommended reading a book called Vaccine A. It turned out to be the history of the examination of Gulf War illness.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, I learned of the damage that vaccines can do, and I also learned of how much deception there is from the government in their communications about the vaccine. At the same time, I had grandkids who were of vaccination age.
Mm-hmm.
And coincidentally, the book pretty much put the blame for Gulf War illness specifically on the squalene that had been added to anthrax vaccines given to the Gulf War support troops.
Hmm. That's interesting.
At the same time, for the first time in the United States, was authorized by the CDC or the FDA, I'm not sure which, to be used in clinical trials in the United States. Over 24 trials were conducted that spring, and the first one that I learned about was using subjects that were healthy kids from 3 years old to 8 years old. The result of using the squalene is it triggers autoimmune disease. And the constellation of autoimmune diseases it produces is called Gulf War illness. Well, when I saw the 3 to 8 year old kid, I just got bit. What can I say? And I started researching. I was fortunate enough to have the time, and I just haven't stopped because of everything I keep learning.
One of the things that I've noticed is that the number of vaccinations that are, quote, required, unquote, in school is gone up enormously. Is that right?
Oh, that's absolutely right. You know, I'm 66 years old. When I was a kid, there were probably maybe 6. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, don't mind the other call coming in. I'm not going to get it. There were probably 6 or 7 vaccines.
Uh-huh.
Now, by the time the child is 6 years old, they've received about 40 vaccinations, including 55 different diseases.
Good grief.
Yeah, it's not 55 different diseases. It's probably about 10 different diseases, but 55 different shots of the antigen.
They get 55 shots?
They have 40 shots with 55 antigens in them.
They get
55 different bacteria or viruses.
Sean, are you prepared to state publicly that this is government really trying to kill people, or what's your take on it?
My personal take, yeah, I'm prepared to state publicly that there is evidence that would point that direction.
Go ahead.
That's about it. That's what I'm prepared at the moment.
Okay. We had a hard time
hearing
you.
You broke up. Say that again.
Yeah, there's definitely evidence that points that direction, that there are factions within the government that have malintent in mind, put it that way.
Wow.
Well, as I said earlier, we were talking about tobacco. They don't care about our health. The idea that they're requiring all these vaccinations because they care about the children is ridiculous. They don't care about the children. They want to enslave us. So why would we believe they want to save us?
Right. There's so much deception that revolves around this. On the blog spot, there will eventually be links. I just got it started today. But eventually there will be links to other information. The whole history of vaccines is simply not as we've been told. The effectiveness of vaccines is a deception. Very quickly, for instance, the year after they introduced the polio vaccine,
yes,
the CDC changed the diagnostic parameters of polio such that automatically only about 1/3 of the cases that had previously been reported would thenceforth be reported. They also changed the definition of a polio epidemic, and they made it almost requiring almost twice as many cases of polio to consider it.
So that's how they do it. They change the definition of things. They do that a lot in these scientific studies. That's one of the reasons why we have an obesity epidemic. They actually changed the definition of obesity a few years ago.
Yeah,
too.
but they're trying to do something about that too, though. Michelle Obama's leading the
Oh,
charge on
there
that.
you go. She's an expert on the field.
Okay, Sean. Any final comments or appreciate you calling in?
What is your website?
The website right now is vaxtruth.blogspot.com, and eventually, hopefully later this week, there will be a vaxtruth.org available as well.
Okay. Well, keep us posted.
I will, and you'll see that great big billboard up there on 35. It'll have the sign on it next week.
That's cool. Thank you. We got an early glimpse of it. Let's go ahead and try this one real quick. Welcome. You're on Worldwide. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Gary, we're visited here by
yes,
a couple of young ones that I guess are faced with all these vaccine shots.
That's true. Yes.
You gonna get them all?
They
Or?
both had all of their shots.
They both
so
had.
far, yeah.
How many shots?
I can't tell you offhand. There's been so many.
Really? I mean, give me a ballpark figure. More than 20?
The last time Jacob got shots, he got 3. About a month before that, he got another 3. So, I mean, the most are between the ages from when they're born to when they're about 2. That's the most shots they get. And then every couple of years, it's 1 or 2 more.
Really? Because like Sean was saying, I got maybe 5 shots or something. I hardly, it's...
Yeah. There's quite a bit. There's quite a bit.
It's amazing.
Now, this is Jacob Davis. Where are you at? Are you on a television show? And this is CJ. Say hello, everybody.
Hello. Say hi, Jacob.
Okay, so... So what we've talked about tonight, Gary, is we got...
It's all about health. It's all about they care about us. They care about the children. They want to tell us that we can't smoke. They want to put fluoride in our water, and they want to give us vaccinations, and they just love us so much.
You don't really believe that, do you?
No.
So that's where we're at, folks. Now, on top of all that, you've got this quote-unquote continuing economic crisis. What's your take on all that? Is that an engineered thing?
Yes, I think that what's happening is inevitable. I think it was in the making for a long time, and I think that what we're seeing now is just the beginning of worse things. I think it's going to get a lot worse.
Do you?
Yes.
As far as just what? Just are we all just going to be survival of the fittest, or?
Well, I think we're going to go through a period of unemployment and inflation, and I think we'll get through it, but it's going to be a very bad economic period. I think worse than the Great Depression.
And you think it's by design?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. Who were the designers? The people Tex Mars was talking about?
I think that it's the people who set up the Federal Reserve and on the whole thing.
The whole thing. So here they're telling us. Well, let's try this one. Welcome. You're on Worldwide.
Hey, Jeff, it's Nate again.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Nate.
I wanted to give you my take on the monetary crisis.
Go ahead.
Well, fractional reserve banking, the end goal is to bankrupt everybody and everything. So this started back in 1913.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a debt-based money system.
Yeah.
Everybody is put into debt until they are broke.
Yeah.
That's the whole end game.
So you think
So,
it's going
as Gary said, it's been in the process for a long time.
You think it's going to get pretty rough, Nate? I mean, we have our own politicians, our leaders, telling us that it's going to get tough.
Yeah, well, it's going to get tough. I think so.
Yeah, and it's by design. You think so as well?
But like I say, fractional reserve banking, the ability to lend out more money than you have, is a debt-based system, and it's designed to bankrupt everybody.
Yep.
That's what its goal is.
Yeah.
It's a system that cannot survive because, as you say, Nate, the money is created out of nowhere, but it's got interest attached to it. So how do you pay back the money if the debt is equal to all the money that exists plus the interest? That's it. You cannot possibly pay that back. So
No.
there's no plan to pay off the national debt. They were talking about raising the debt ceiling. Well, there's no plan to pay off the national debt. The plan is to let this system just eventually just end. And it's ended in other countries. It's going to end in this country as well.
Well, Alan Greenspan was on this Sunday on the news saying it doesn't matter about the monetary crisis because they can just print money out of nothing.
That's
He
what they're
actually
going to do.
said
That's what they're going to do. They're going to print money out of nothing, and all the money you have is going to be worthless.
So hyperinflation.
Yes.
Hyperinflation.
Well, I hear a lot of people screaming for a gold or silver backed thing, but I think just getting rid of usury and fractional reserve banking and just having a real money system is really all you need. It doesn't necessarily need to be backed by silver and gold.
Yeah, we do. The system, fractional reserve banking, Nate, is the problem. The ability of banks to lend out 10 times as much money as they have on deposit is what creates the whole problem, and it's legalized counterfeiting, but it's interesting how this is something that has taken almost 100 years to reach where we are now, but it's going to it can't go on forever. It just can't, and we have this money that just becomes worth less because they create more of it.
Y'all, they're already talking about a QE3. The Fed.
Yeah, well,
the
that's
Fed's
just printing more money.
The Fed's already talking about a QE3. You heard that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, I just wanted to put in my 2 cents.
Cool, Nate.
Talk to you all later.
Okay. So this has been a real happy show tonight, hasn't it? We've talked about the.
Well, Mike, I don't know if he wants to come in here. He's up in arms about the city of Gonzales and that they have apparently there is some fluoride in their water there, but the city there has been kind of spinning it about whether or not it's natural fluoride or it's added fluoride, and in their own disclosure here, they refer to the fluoride there coming from fertilizer and aluminum factories. Well, that doesn't sound very natural, like very natural fluoride there.
Mike, did you want to come in and talk about it? What's going on in Gonzales? We're following Gonzales. We're definitely following Gonzalez.
I'll be right there.
By the way, what's going on with your court stuff? He's got that complaint too. He filed against Travis County. So it's really been an interesting thing, an interesting show. I mean, because I've been watching these Live Tobacco-Free Austin commercials. I did not know it was
It's a federal program.
Millions of dollars from the stimulus.
Yeah, and apparently I guess we're going to see more of them.
I don't want to talk about no court case right now.
Whew. All right, tell us what's going on in Gonzales.
What, did Jerry read this, Gary? I was outside just for a second.
I just pointed out that they are saying that it's from aluminum factories.
Well, it says on here, discharge from fertilizer and aluminum factories. I didn't know we had any there, but it says that's where the fluoride's coming from. We talked to one of the head guys from Gonzales Water Deal, and he said that they don't put any unnatural fluoride in the water like Austin. I don't know if I believe that or not. Do you? There's Nate again. He talked to the guy.
Hello.
Howdy. Mike
Okay.
asked me to call back in.
Yeah, I wanted you to call back in about the guy you talked to today about the fluoride.
City of Gonzales.
Well, he acted like they didn't add any fluoride, and I guess he should know. But like you say on the water quality report, why would they mention that agribusiness fluoride source? And he said that just may be where it comes from or something. And I was like, what?
What do you think, Nate, that we've talked? Huh? Oh. Nate, we've talked about forced vaccinations. We've talked about fluoride in the water. And we talked about attempt to ban cigarette smoking. What's your take on it? Is the government trying to kill people?
Well, it sure looks that way. But they want to get rid of the cigarette smoke. It really looks more to me like they're just interested in control.
Yeah. But if these vaccination issues are what Sean talked about, then they're causing diseases. Well,
they almost tripled the amount of vaccinations like overnight about 10 or 15 years ago, and that's when autism started going way up. Just to triple the amount of vaccines is just overnight is just weird.
Yep, I hear you. And what a show! This has been Mike Hanson's gig tonight, and came up with some good issues.
Indeed.
What do you think?
Yes, well, I guess the theme it's schizophrenic here because the government wants to save us from cigarettes, but they want to force us to take fluoride and vaccinations. So I don't know what they don't seem to know what they want to do.
But you could also call it nanny state issues.
Yeah.
Do you think it's ultimately part of the 80% liquidation of the world's population, as Alex might submit?
I would say it's definitely going to get rid of somebody.
Yeah. Do you believe in that?
Well, I tell you one thing. I think it's a lot about money. I think the fluoride thing is easy to understand if you look at money, and that is that the fluoride people have, the aluminum people have to sell this stuff. The vaccination, it's about the drug companies. They're making money off of that.
That's true. That's a element of it. This thing about the tobacco, that's really about money because it's about Travis County or the city of San Antonio chasing these federal funds. So it's a lot about money. It's about, where's the money, and follow the money, and unfortunately they're not using money for useful things. And of course, also we talked about money, and that money is just being created out of thin air through fractional reserve banking and debt-based money, and that's about money because it's about making the interest on the money. So I guess it's a lot about money. So more than designed to try to kill people, it's just a lot of it.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to kill us too. They're not mutually exclusive.
But money is an element of it. Yeah.
I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
I want to say that I found out Charlie Waits died.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, there's an old show that you did
Hey,
way back.
That's cool.
So I just wanted to say I didn't know that, but I found out from Bob Cole that he died.
Yeah, cool. Okay, folks, we are scheduled next week. So love you. Bye. Good job, everybody. Good job. What a show.